And hello. Hi. Alright guys, now that you actually have my face going, how goes things? Not been up to terribly much. It's fiddling around with some stuff today, which we will see once I get to the thing. And wallpaper stuff and things. I am doing some background work on that, so I'm hoping, if not this week, next week, probably next week. Given I'm busy working on commission socks, as you guys know, so probably not going to have as much time to art. The bad side of being multi-craftual, when you have all the things to do. Okay. Better. Because that was looking foggy, and I didn't realize until I was looking at the start screen, and it looked weird. But yeah, so, as usual, name of the game today is to art, which for us here, that's gonna be emote stuff and things. Specifically, I literally did a quick doodle on the laptop here. Normally I would sketch them out on my tablet and then put it over here, but I didn't feel like doing that, so I just did a quick thing over here to sketch, and then I'm in the midst of inking it. So I need to clean up some things. So that's the part we're going to jump into and then see if I want to make any changes and then go from there. Because I already know the colors because I'm keeping the same palette that I have for the Galaxy Sheep to not complicate things. But yes, you'll see what I mean once we go over there. Right about now. Oh, because it's... There it is. Now, so yes, here we have sheep, which the original sketch, which currently, let's hide the layer. So I lighten the opacity of the layer so I can go over it, but I still need to mess with that because the eyes, are one of those things where it's not level, but this is what I had to start with because I did a quick bit messy sketch here and then added line art because I realized up there is a bit too sloped, although arguably I feel like those shoulders should be a bit more rounded, but I'll see how I feel about it. But yeah, I'm not sure if I want to have this be the follower emote or have this be tier 3 emote, given, I have a couple of blank spaces. I was thinking, hey, maybe this could be the tier 3, and then it's just like, nah. I'm not sure. Also, I always forget that I could do the thing with the pad here. So I don't need the mouse unless I'm going to be right-clicking on anything. Yeah, I do need to clean up the line art, so I think... Oops. What'd I do? Oh. That would be what I did. Whoops. I don't need multiply, I need normal. Thank you. I must have pressed on that and didn't realize. Because I want to zoom in. Oh, it's the other way. Cool. Alright, so... I had planned on, doing this a different way, potentially, doing a... What's its face? Projecting from my tablet and doing that on here. Then all of a sudden I was just like, how about putting my sheep emote in a sweater? So that kind of consumed my morning, so I didn't get to fiddle around with that. Oops. Might try that next week. We'll see what happens. But yeah, for right now, trying to clean up the line art because, I hadn't drawn anything yet today, so my hands are a bit shaky. Well, technically more than typically so. Plus pressure sensitivity. Well, I mean, thickness in certain places are not where I want it to be. Oops. That doesn't need to do that. I can switch back to that, but let me erase this first. And then come... Oops. Oh, they're both on me. That's not helpful. Bams! Hello. Thank you for your host. I very much appreciate you. How goes? I'm working on emote stuff and things. Hope your Wednesday's going well. Where are we? Alright. Day making progress with our hand stitching the bias tape to the dress. What's bias tape again? I think that's the stuff that you would put to have like a bit of leeway when it comes to sewing things, if I am not mistaken. I forget, because sewing is one of those things that is like not really in my wheelhouse. So I tend to not be as familiar with the terminology in question. But sorry you're having a day, but at least, you know, you're making progress on stuff and things. Oof, yeah, that looks a bit like a mess. Oops, wrong thing. There it is. Alright. A good way to edge the project to hide any sewn edge to protect them is basically one piece of fabric that's ironed between. Ah, okay. Huh. That is definitely good to know. So I'm presuming this is the first dress, the one that you had finished. Or if you have you gotten to this point for the second one. Okay, yeah, that also looks like I need to do the thing. Yeah, that looks like I could warrant moving the line out there. Then... erase what I have here. There it is. Alright, that's clean. Well, clean-ish. Given I wanted to at least have some of the inking done, I was in a wee bit of a rush. And yeah, it's not even remotely neat. I mean, it could be worse. But it easily could be better too. So, yeah. Alright. Yeah, that ear. Let me tilt this canvas. I'm like supremely zoomed in. So unless you're looking at the wee little overview right there, you're not really going to be able to see what the heck I'm doing at the moment. Alright. Oops. My angle's weird. Yeah. I definitely do need to mill that a little bit that way. Oh, come on. Alright, and then come down this way. Alright, let's move that over. And yeah, I'm aware this ear is kind of cut off by the end of the canvas, but it's not the worst thing in the world. Come on. Gently. Also, I have my usual tea hanging out right next to me on my right over there, which I probably should drink the rest of it soon, I suspect. To avoid it going cold. I'm not sure if I like that much space going on. I'm wondering if I should maybe go up here with that part of the ear and then leave that right there and erase this part maybe. Let's see. Whoops, wrong way. Okay. Slightly better, but I'm not sure. You know, it looks like something's weird about that ear in comparison to this one. Finally back to some chloroscopy errands to run. Thankies! Emote. Same one as the other ones that are in my tier 1. Not sure where this one will fall. But we'll see. Also, yeah, that tea's starting to get cold. It's fine. Doesn't taste terrible. Oh, wrong thing I clicked. Wrong thing I clicked. Oh well. I meant to do this. I'm gonna need to zoom in. And deal with this area here. Which I like this ear better than the other one. I'll be real honest with you. That is always one of my things with drawing these. One of the ears always looks better than the other. At least digitally speaking. Not sure why that is. But it drives me crazy every time. Alright, also, yeah. Hands. Hands are a pain. Hands are torture. But that's one of those things where it's like, I usually try to sit there and figure it out every so often. Which, speaking of hands, wallpaper will eventually be a thing to download. I struggled so hard with these goddamn hands. Hands. Which, this is not done yet. I still have to do some stuffs. Get rid of some lines in some places. So on and so forth. But it's getting there. Which, that was going to be for Halloween, but I did not have the time to finish that. So I was just like, nope. Thanks. I had to redraw, like, at least, when I go back here, this hand. I had to redraw this a couple of times, because the way I had the angle for the phone made it look like, you know, how the hand would be positioned. Really, really weird. I don't think I've been so upset with hands in my life. Because I was using my own hands as reference to, like, get the angle. But still, it was still struggle bust for a while. But I'm very glad to have that area done. So much. Alright, let's see. It's kind of like the same thing, like puzzles in that sense. That's what it feels like when it's like you're trying to figure out a puzzle and get the thing to do what it's supposed to do, and then it's just like you turn the thing around and it's just like, how did I miss that for like 20 minutes? Which, that's kind of what I deal with whenever I play puzzle games at times. Even though I do enjoy them, they frustrate me so. Alright. Yeah, that line's definitely not even. Trying to be light right about here. Nonograms? That I don't know what it is. Sounds interesting, but I am not familiar with that term. Whoops. Damn it. Thank you undo button. Where the numbers, you have to figure out which spots get. Ah! So, kind of like a color by number sort of thing. Sort of. That sounds interesting. Let's do the thing. Or draw by, yeah. Alright. Yeah, right there, looking a little bit wonky. I think I might redo this whole entire... Whoops! I forgot I was not using the brush. I was using the eraser. Which I've finally gotten around to using the click thing on the top of the brush to switch between what I'm drawing within the eraser. So I have to go pressing over here every time I want to switch a brush. Although if I'm going to switch the drawing implement, I still have to go over here, but it saves me some time, which is great. Yeah. And here's where you can see things are definitely a mess. Which, yeah, it's a lot less of a mess than when I first started doing it. Yeah, I knew it was a thing, really, but it was one of those I wasn't really comfortable with it sort of things. Thanks. I'm just highly self-critical. Because I'm always just like, it can be better. Which I imagine pretty much every single person who does the art stuff is usually like, it could be better. Alright, let's see. Let me... Oh, whoops. Yeah, I didn't switch to the eraser yet, did I? No. Oops. Not where I needed to be. And then... And it helped it. My only thing is if it's not my original intention, that's where I'm just like, thing. Although, if I can roll with it, that's what I'm usually trying to do. Oop. Yeah, about there-ish. But right there. Probably better if I curve these a little bit so they don't seem so flat. Although I'm probably going to need these to be at least a little bit bigger. Now that I think about it, because emote. So this is going to need to be a lot thicker in order to show up. I really do want this to convey a sweater. Alright, and... The one thing I've been trying to really do is, like, you know, at least train myself to use my arm more when I'm drawing, like, larger things. Like, say, if I'm trying to get across a large area. Because, you know, most artists, like, definitely learn to use their wrists and maybe, like, you know, about their elbow. But not, you know, the entirety of your upper arm to get to the longer areas. And it's really hard to unlearn things, thus making it very much unhelpful. Let's see. Canvas. Time to rotate you a wee bit. Move over. Whoops, wrong way. Yep, wrong way. And then still on the eraser. Whoops. Let's see. Maybe. Yeah, I don't want that to go outside of frame, so probably stop that there. Hello, how you doing? How goes your Wednesday? Hope everything's going well. I'm just here cleaning up my line art for eventual emote. Not sure where this will hang out, but we will see. Oops. Where am I going? There. Nothing really to do, or nothing is satisfactorily amusing? Any other? Can't you get one? I presume the answer is no. Alright. Unemployed. Yikes. I'm sorry. It sucks. And is also a mood. Do you happen to do any art stuff, or do you enjoy watching people do art stuff? Art is not my main branch of... What's the word I'm looking for? Main branch of activities. There we go. Everything has for charity right now. It's getting repeated. Ah! Yeah. Yeah. When you have to redo the same thing over and over again, it gets weird and boring and annoying. Liger! Hello. How are you doing? Glad to see you. Hope all is good. I am doing some emote work for channel stuff and things. How are you? Yay. I'm glad you're doing well. Not bad. Here with my cold tea. Sad. Yeah. Sheep. I have like one more follower emote spot. I'm not, depending on how I feel about this, I might not even put that there. If I want to, I could technically put this as my tier 3, because my tier 3 is open. But I've been trying to teach myself how to draw as of recent. Nice! If you want some pointers, there is a site called drawabox.com, which is very helpful. I've personally not used it yet, but I know a bunch of people who use that for, you know, getting the basics down and then getting from there. Very, very helpful. Yeah, I'm probably gonna visit that at some point, because I've been meaning to. It's just one of those I'll get to it later sort of deals. How to draw and fill in the blank with whatever I want to. That is also fair if you need to do a specific thing and just want some pointers. That is a fair thing to do as well. Because I've heard about it from at least 2 streamers I know that do art stuff. I do happen to enjoy both of their respective art styles. So I figure it doesn't hurt. Come on. Yeah. Okay, it's a little bit better. My straight lines are always terrible, so I usually end up using the straight line tool. But given this is curved, that's why I haven't used it. Alright. And then... Come on. How many hats do you need to make for charity? I can speak. I just got started. Should not be losing words this early. Alright. And then go over here. Yeah, this is the area where I think, yeah, that would be a little bit better curved. And then come through here. Better. Alright. Oop, come back here. I always have a weird time getting it to do the thing because my brain is like, how do directions work when I tilt the canvas? It's irritating. So I was just like, I want to be over here, and then I just go to completely opposite directions. Like, wait, come back. But I just gotta draw. Ooh, what kind of drawing tablet? Share. Although, if you try to put a link, just forewarn me first because I would need to give you a permit because I don't have links open. Except to anybody who is a regular or happens to sub to the channel. Or VIPs. Yeah, VIPs should also have that restriction annulled. Nope. How about if I move up there? That would maybe help. Yeah, I'm half considering maybe having, like, down the line, like, a visual one. I just got the giant 120 set? I think 120 is the largest they have. Wait, no. There might be a 200, because I have a small set of 20 from them. Also, 320. Jesus. I didn't realize they had that large. So I'm guessing it's like all of it. How much was that? Because I have the 24 set, which I got on sale. It was like $20 from like a couple months ago. That is hilarious. That's the tablet I have. That is legit the tablet I have. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yeah, that I do. That I do know. Yeah, I got this like, what was it, 2 years ago? Because this was like $30, and you know, as a starting price point, these are like really, really good. And that's what I'm using right now too, Krita. So we are just lining up right now. It's yay! Definitely takes some time to get used to and adjust because it's kind of weird because it's like, you know, hand-eye coordination is one of those things that you kind of have to build up when you can't see what you're doing. It takes a bit of work, but it can work. But I know for some people, they like the visual tablets, which I'm half considering looking at that down the line, maybe, to see if that would help with some things. But honestly, I do like this one as well. But XP Pen does have some like visual tablets, which honestly could double as a monitor, which that would work out for me if I ever got like one of those like 16-inch or something. Come on. Gently. Whoops. No, wrong area. It works really well. I've had like a weird issue, but I think that was mainly the partially because sometimes I don't have everything running from the start, so I had to have the app on for the tablet first before I turned on Krita. But if you have it going same time, it's fine. But in general, when I first got started, I did Autodesk Sketchbook to like get the training wheels because that was like a little more easier for me to work with. And then Krita's like definitely pretty close to Photoshop, so definitely have to learn some things. I'm still learning things. But all in all, it's a fun experience, and it does the things I want. For the great price of being free. Because I don't got money for Photoshop. Although there's abundance of drawing programs like Clip Studios. I was going to say Autodesk Sketchbook Pro is still free, but no, that's like $20. But that's like a one-time pay fee. But I had downloaded it back when it became free for a point in time. Which, I wonder why they have it paid again. All I know is that ain't my problem. Let's get this. My only thing is I haven't updated to Windows 11 as of yet, because I'm waiting to see if certain programs, like my streaming program, will, you know, be able to deal with the issues, because, you know, programs end up getting closed sometimes, I've been hearing. So it's just like I'm waiting for that to happen before I download Windows 11, because I'm not dealing with that mess when I'm streaming. Because it's just like, no one wants to be streaming, and all of a sudden everything just gone. I would probably scream immensely. Alright. That happened. Oh no. No. I'm sorry, that sucks. I mean, yes, things happen, things will break, but it's just like if it's an avoidable issue, I'd rather avoid it as much as humanly possible. Whoops. How about if I come around here? Yeah, I think the chin might be where I'm experiencing some weirdness. But I'm not surprised, because I was trying to trace off the sketch, and the sketch was a wee bit messy. It automatically updated while I was sleeping. No! That is why I don't automatically update things. I tend to not do that. I have it to automatically check if it needs updates, but I don't do the, hey, let's just automatically update. Because that really does screw with everything. Because you don't know what you're walking into. Alright, let's see. Come on. There it is. My other thing is I think the nostrils are probably not in the right direction. That's one of those things I try to keep consistent about, so I think, let me open one of my past emotes, probably the high one, and see how do I have my the nostrils tilted on there. Let's see. Sheepy, sheepy, sheepy. Where art thou, sheep? Which, that's one of those I kind of want to thicken the outline on to see if it'll pop a little bit better. See how that works. Let's see. Where art thou? Thank you for the points! Okay, yeah, it's tilted so they're away from each other, so one up to the right. Tenret, thank you! Glad to see you. Thank you for contributing the points to the community challenge. And you have a great day. Bye! Let's see. Yeah, so that's going that way. Oh, okay, so I did it right. Nice. So I don't have to adjust that. Cool. But yeah, community challenge is basically something I have going to essentially next month. That's the plan currently, to play some games for charity, specifically Project Linus, which, you know, keeps the kids warm during these winter months. Crap, where'd everything go? I pressed a thing. That terrified me. The whole screen disappeared for a second. I was just like, I didn't do anything. What the actual fuck? Okay, cool. What are you doing? Streamlabs chatbot. Can you request all at once? You are not allowed. What the hell are you two trying to change? That's weird. That's the second time I've had that pop up. I'm not sure what the problem is. That is weird. Anyway, what was I discussing? Community challenge. Yeah, community challenge. Essentially me gonna play some games, which it's gonna be one game per regular stream day during the whole entire week, which the plan is... Uh-oh. Is it doing the thing now? Yeah. Crap. Yeah, it's not adjusting. Why do you need to change the thing now? Alright, so I'm gonna need you to go zoom me back out. Why are you like this? So I'm gonna need to probably close and reopen this thing. I was using this like at least an hour beforehand. Why? Yes, save that. Yeah. So I make sure I save everything before I close the things. Waiting for yes. I'm trying to tilt this upwards, which I'm pressing the 5, and it's not doing the thing. So yeah. Time for me to rotate that. Save. Come on. Yep. Alright, so I'm going to close this and also close the pen app and then reopen because things are apparently freaking out slightly. Yes. Why do you want to have a say in things right now? Yes, you're already open, so I don't know what the hell you want from me. I already set this up before I got started, so I'm not sure what your damage is right now. Alright, configuration saved. Reopen the app, should take a second. Which, just a note, when it comes to Krita, this thing takes up a bit of memory when you're running it, so be mindful of that. So, if your computer has like 8 RAM, it might tax it a little bit if you have a couple of things open. Let's see. Where are we going? Come on. Loading resources. You can do it. Brush presets. Bundles. I don't have terribly much of that. And main window. Come on. You can do it. There it is. Hopefully this should... Oh, I clicked it more than once, even though I had no need to. Whoops. I'm gonna probably need to close one. Yep. Why am I like this? I only had one open. Let's see. Oh, no. Why? Why? You were open before this. Yeah, the pressure sensitivity is now off. Come on. Alright, so... turn that to that. And then do the thing. Turn that back to WinTab. Alright. Alright. Close this. Close that again. I love now that I'm working on things, all of a sudden everything decides to freak out. Like, excuse you. No one told you that I'd be busy. Alright, so let's see. HIJK. Let's see. Where's the thing for the pen? Yeah, 10 tablet here. Yes, I'm aware. Please connect device. Yep. Alright, pen settings are where they're supposed to be. I don't have mouse mode on, so... Alright. How about if this thing will work now? Because I very much want my pen pressure sensitivity on, please and thank you. Alright, let's see. Yay, it's on again. Cool. Yay! Alright, now back to this. Oh, I'm missing a bit of a line right there. Oh, I did not notice that. Also, apparently, I must have pressed that at some point and didn't notice. Whoops. Alright, so... those lines... The color looks a little bit weird. I think I have it at a weird angle. I suspect I might need to like come like about here, or at least have this curved a little bit. Screen is low. Whoops. Sorry, it should be showing up. Hold on. Let's see. Come back here. Alright. Let's see. There it is. Sorry. Had to close and reopen the thing. It was being weird. So I'm not sure what the heck that was about. So there we go. Thanks for telling me. Because I don't have OBS right in my face, so since having that going on at the same time I'm drawing is a bit disconcerting for me. Alright, let's zoom in. Oh, wrong way. I'm using the touchpad for that. And I was going in the wrong direction. Woohoo! Alright, let's see. Oh, yeah, they're both on eraser. Let's fix that. Alright, let's see if I can get this to get fixed. Alright, let's see. And what are you up to today? I know you said you're having a good day so far, but what are you up to? I don't believe I asked that. Yeah, I can go a wee bit later. Also, would help. NaNoWriMo. Ah! I didn't realize you were doing that. I know at least like 1 or 2 people doing that. That's kind of insane. Like, I know it's the full 50,000, because I know with the camp stuff you can do like about half of that, if I'm not mistaken, or have your own estimated word total or projected word total, one or the other. But how have you been going so far? Which the month's almost over. Nice. I can hand it to you. Got a little distracted over the weekend. Fair. Let's see. But yeah, that's always been one of those things I find absolutely insane. Also, no, I only need this one, because this needs to move up a little bit. Sort of messed up the... Ah. Well, better early than having to scramble at the last minute, though, so... There's that. Also, wrong button selection. There we go. So I was trying to deselect the thingy. Which, especially given the whole, hey, everything is probably going to slow down again. Also, I need a tissue. Give me a second. Also, my neck is complaining. Although, given I was working on this at least an hour before stream, I am not surprised at my neck's complaining. Just gotta get there. Okay, cool. So you have a thing where you have a conclusion you're gonna get to, you just haven't gotten there yet. That is good. Because it would be more irritating if you weren't sure where the heck to put your story. Oops, I think. Yeah. Let's be careful. I should probably open my thing, what color palette I have for this. Although, I do want to finish getting this line art good and well done. before I even worry about that. Although, let me see. If I erase this side, copy this side, and put it to the other side. Let's see. So, copy, and then let's see. There it is. And it's better. At least they're even. Because that was driving me crazy. Okay, and then back up straight. Yeah, the eyes are also a wee bit crooked. I think I might be able to... Oh, wait, yeah. I forgot. Let me merge that and then come back to here. Because I forgot I had rotated the nostril. And have that on a separate thing. Alright, let's see. Let's move one of these eyes to make sure that's even. Alright, that's better. And here's a little bit weird. So let's tilt you. But you're like I'd say the second or the third person who's been talking about Christmas gifts, which I really am glad people are trying to get that out of the way early. But I think that's mainly because last year how everything got completely and utterly slammed. People are like, let's not do that again. Which, completely fair. So... yeah. I was literally talking about that yesterday, too. It's like, the way things are going, I suspect this year is going to be absolute hell. Which is kind of why I put in the Etsy shop, where it's like, I can't project things getting to you by Christmas past December 11th, because even though USPS says, you know, what was it, like the week before, I think, or near that, I was just like, I'd rather not stake my shop on that. I have to get gifts to my niece. Doing Christmas with them on... they'll be in Texas for actual... Okay, that makes more sense, too. But yay, early Christmas! That sounds like fun. Let's see. Where are we? I don't know this number, so I don't know why the bloody hell they're calling me. Because if the number's not in my phone, that means I don't know you, or it's my doctor's office. So I'm enjoying the heck out of them. Yay! That is great. Let's see, where are we? Exactly. I know it's not them. Because I have, like, the main doctor's office, but it's, like, say if it's, like, a branch or a specialized thing. I would potentially not have their number in my phone, but I'm pretty sure that is not the case, so... Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's just telemarketing being a pain in my ass. Once again. But I have a bit of a spam shield thing. So, a lot less of those stupid calls have been getting through, which is lovely. Although it also amuses me when it's like the number gets kicked and they keep trying to call it. It's like, you realize you're getting blocked, right? Why are you still trying? Few and yeah, very, very rarely. And even in that case, I'm just like, let the answering machine get it. So if, I need to call them back, I will call them back. Oops. Eraser. I need to stop doing that. Whee. Nope. I realize I haven't put a mouth in here, so I'm gonna have to put that in. Because I kind of want sheep to look cozy. Let's see. It's like the main thing I'm really worried about. Plus, it still needs to be a little clean and crisp in some areas. But it's definitely a bit less messy compared to where I first started, so I'm gonna completely hide this sketch and see how I feel about this. Alright. Let's zoom back out. Okay. So I'm pretty sure the eyes and the nostrils should be alright. Which this is at 33%. And I have the canvas 10 times the size of the maximum size emote. So, let's see, 17%. It should be alright, but we will see. If worse comes to worse, I'll just make these a little bit larger. So I'm trying to be aware of that also. I still don't have that. Yeah, I still need that little bit of a line going on here. Nope. Let's try it again. Yeah, it's alright. Should be well enough. But yeah, my only thing is like, I feel like it's angling a little too in. Like it should be a bit more curved. Like it should be more like, say, here and not there. Also, I'm pretty sure it should be about break time for me, but I'm just like hyper focused on getting this done how I want it to be done. So I can just do a little bit more fiddling and then I will take my break. Last I checked, it was like 10 minutes before we hit the hour mark. And especially given my neck tends to be very cranky about me doing this because I hunch a lot, as you can see. I usually have to take my breaks, like, very, very promptly, or else my neck will be very, very upset at me. Although that's mainly just due to muscle strain based on how I'm angling myself. Which, if I had like a comfy chair to like lean back in, this would probably not be so bad, but alas, I do not, so that is the gist of things. Oh, so when I come back, I will fully discuss the community challenge thing going on, because I know I trailed off on that. Because I was focusing on this thing being a weirdo. Alright. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, that might be better. I need to... Come on. And then... But yeah, this should not be a ton of coloring, but I'll definitely need to add the mouth in spots. Let me save this and let me check. Yep. Wow, I'm nearly 10 minutes past where I normally am for break. So I'm gonna go stretch and take my break. Be back in about 10 minutes. And we're back here once again. And before I jump back into emote stuff and things going on here, I'm going to essentially discuss the community challenge currently going on in with the channel points right here, which we are nearly halfway to getting it done, but we have 12 more days, which, as I was saying before, both of these challenges are essentially for me to play respective games in order to help support Project Linus, which, yes, the da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, that Linus. But yes, basically this charity via whether it be financial donations or knit or crocheted blankets, I believe, and or knit or crocheted squares to form into blankets, essentially help keep the small humans warm during the cold months, which that is currently upon us now. So definitely a good charity to support, whether it be via Extreme or whoever happens to be fundraising for them at some point, and or directly, because you can either send money to a specific branch of the organization or to the organization itself, which I'll probably end up doing the latter since I don't know my respective branches of the organization, which there's like 9 of them in New York last I checked when I was doing my research. So yeah, that's the thing with that. And for anybody wondering what the channel points are, that would be on your lower left hand side of your chat going on here. And that's whether you be on PC or mobile, which the channel currency is called donuts because I like donuts. And currently the community challenge currently available is to have playing Hades for charity, which there's going to be 4 different games. We already have GeoGuessr in the books done, but Hades, we have 12 more days, and we need how many points left? We need another 1,988 points left, which we definitely can do it if you guys have some points set up. I'm not sure what to do with it. Definitely feel free to contribute here. You get points by just hanging out lurking, so definitely feel free to contribute to the goal. So, look, that is like the main thing I need to talk about, so let me jump back into the art stuff and things. Currently, let's see what's happening. Oh yeah, I removed the sketch layer. Let me zoom in and see what's what here. Wrong way. I forgot it's drawing down does that. Let's erase this line here. Let's clean that area right here. Also, I didn't realize I had that bit of a crack right there in my line. Oh, also in, ways to potentially support me in the stream, there's the usual tips bar bits and or potentially going to either my Ko-fi shop or my Etsy shop, which the Ko-fi shop has more digital things, so I have a couple of wallpapers currently that exist there, and donut pins which hang out there too. I'm slowly starting to fill up the wallpaper one. I have one currently in progress, which that was going to be there for Halloween, but unfortunately I did not get to doing that in time, so that's gonna be for this month, which we're definitely slowly but surely getting that done. And the Etsy shop is way more into the physical items. So, say, pan knit dish towels, which that is a good chunk of the shop right now. Keychains, pumpkin keychains specifically. Also donut keychains as well. And stitch markers, which some of them are chainmail, which that is one of the things I tend to do on here, which I have a couple of pre-made sets that are ready to go out the door, so if you don't feel like waiting, you could always purchase one of those if that interests you any. And there's also one very special beaded set that is hanging out in the shop for a little while, so if anybody has their eyes on that, that is a one-time only. Yeah, that's a one-time only set there. So once that's gone, it's gone. And to note, the beaded stitch markers are going to be leaving the shop by the end of this year. I believe the listing should expire January 2nd, and I'm not going to replace that on there just because those have been there in a while. So I'm just like, I could stand to, just to stick with the chainmail ones. So yeah, if any of that happens to interest you, you can go to my general shop links, which hang out on my panels, and or do ! follow, and you should be able to get links to there amongst the variety of places I happen to be present on social media, which Etsy for Etsy for selling stuff, but there is also my Instagrams, one for art and one for shop and or knitting and fun projects, which also I realize I have not introduced myself to anybody who happens to be new to the channel. Hello, hi, Serena, variety caster of way too many things, which I'm not kidding when I say that. My main thing tends to be knitting, crocheting, spinning, weaving, chainmail, art sometimes, as you can see what I'm doing right now, sometimes digital, like what's going on here, and other times it's traditional. And on the occasion there are some games, which usually Stardew, but I do like my words on stream, and giving this laptop can at least handle some things definitely allows for a bit more of a variety of range of games. And if any of that happens to interest you, totally feel free to give a follow if you'd like, and hopefully enjoy your time hanging out here. But yes, currently just working on emote stuff for anybody who happened to step in during the break. Me and this cute little sheep, which I'm not sure where it will be on my general roster of emotes. We'll see how it goes, depending on how it looks once it is done. But it'll definitely be somewhere on the list. If I do manage to eventually unlock the last tier 1 emote slot, I might put it there. Or potentially have it be one of the bit emotes, although the only slot available for that is the 10,000, which I know there's pretty certain no one has reached the 10k yet, which I wouldn't expect of no one because, 10k in bits is $100. And given the whole we can't watch ads anymore thing, that requires people to buy them, which, that's a whole thing within itself I have qualms about. But anyhow, that is the general gist of this channel here, and I blab about many things. Let's see. Let's clean this up a little bit in spots. Come on. That way. I'm always confused when I'm doing this via a tilted canvas, because I'm always like, which way is the thing? And it's like, how about this way? Alright. Which is why I try to use the arms here to scroll the thing. But it doesn't work out sometimes either. Let's see. Whoops, no. Okay, that's better. That one would have been completely wrong. Down over there. Let's clean that. Whoops. I forgot I'm not using eraser. But yeah, if this doesn't frequent the last follower emote slot, I might do something like snowflake or something. Even though I do want to clean up that nap emote a little bit because I need to fiddle around with some things in regard to that emote. Which I'd put that in one of the slots just because that didn't get used terribly much. But I do like the concept of that emote. But I drew that, I think, sometime last year. When I still had my Redbubble open. And then it was just like, I'm not sure how I feel about that. Let's see. Alright, clean that up a little. Alright, let's see. So, the weird balance about this, getting into discussing this emote itself, I tend to have a weird time because, when it comes to emotes, everything has to be large in order for it to show up properly. But it's like face to body ratio because, sheeps tend to be very floof, not as much face. So it's a weird balance to counter. So I've been trying to figure that out. And I'm hoping with this one I'll probably figure it out. We'll see. Or at least get closer to doing so. Which, I do enjoy drawing these emotes. Very much fun. Also, that bit's a little bit messy. Let's clean up right there. Alright, let's see. Yeah, I'm really gonna need to add in a mouth for this. That's one of those things, because I really do need to convey that this is cozy. Also, let's see. Yeah, about where this is. Let's zoom myself back out a little bit. And maybe I can move the nostrils back a little. So let me actually select this. Move these guys back a wee bit up the face. And then give myself space to add a mouth to it. So, oops. I pressed a wrong button. Whoopsie. I pressed C to do that thing. That was weird. That is not a button I typically press. I don't know why I pressed that now. Let's see. That, and then... Let's see. Yeah. About... No. Let's see. Ah, no, I'm trying to Central Z, not that. Come on. I'm not trying to pick a color. Why are you stuck? Thank you. That was weird. Alright. I realize I tend to not put a mouth on this, which might be why it's giving me a wee bit of trouble in spots. Although, let's see. Tilt this, and then take the shape. Nope. Come on. Nope, still bad. Ugh. Alright, let's zoom in, because I think, yeah, that's what I thought. Careful. Oops, come back. Yeah, I realized that was not gonna be correct looking. Do 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 do. I honestly cannot believe it's Wednesday already for this week. Also, I do hope that I get to the flat colors on this. That was the plan, to at least get to the flat colors. Which, hopefully, if nothing goes south somehow, which, you know, knock on whatever piece of furniture that'll allow me the boon of luck. That doesn't happen. Let's see. Yeah, I don't think that's quite right. Yeah, I think I might undo all this. Let's see. Although, let's put this face up and zoom back out. Wrong way. I don't know why. I feel like the mouse size might be wrong. It looks a wee bit weird. Come on. There it is. Alright, and then... let's see. Okay. That's dead center. Okay, so yeah, it might be a little bit lean in here, which is unfortunate. But it'll definitely allow me the ability to have a little less ground to cover. Right, and turn that back off for now, and then, yeah, like about there on the left side is what's giving me weirdness. And then let me zoom in a little bit to get that top a little more even. Yeah, I don't want to call them out. That would be rude. But I was going to ask about the charity hat knitting. I'm not sure if they have wandered off at this point in time, which that is completely fine. But I am curious how many hats they have to knit in regards to that. Or at least they're planning on knitting, rather, in regards to that. Which, in general, when it comes to repeatedly making a thing, it's kind of mind-numbing, in my opinion, when it's like you have to make the same thing if you're making a large set of them. You kind of get bored of it after a while. It's just like, why did I want to do this again? Alright, and Let's clean. Nope. And I feel my neck starting to get cranky again. That's great. But given how much I'm hunching, why am I even remotely surprised about this? Alright, and... yeah, weird speck. Okay, I'll leave everything as it is for now. I really might come back around again to clean up some more. Because I do think it's warranted in some spots. Alright, let me zoom back out a little bit. Okay. Yeah, I'll leave that as is for now, since, let me put line art. Let's see. Flat colors. And let me go open... where is it? That a G... there it is. Because this is a color palette I have for the sheep, which... that would be this for... I believe, yeah, that would be the line art, so... that's... dark shading. Let's... let me go and turn off the stabilizer for now. And then... you're not going to need as much of this purple, because that's the... for the floof areas, which there's not much of. In comparison to what I normally draw with this sheep. And then there's gray for the face. The pinks for the mouth. And the sweater. I'm not sure what the sweater will be. I'll definitely have to do some figuring out on the sweater color. Do. Clean. Do. Alright, and then gonna bounce over here to pick up the gray. Oops. Yeah. Went outside the line, although arguably I could just paint over that. It's fine. But I prefer just undoing it. And it looks like the time for the pre-roll ads being off has now expired, so we're back to that until I hit my second break. Alright, let's zoom in a little bit. Yeah, I'm really gonna need to mess with that line a little bit. That's not how I want it to be. Alright. At one point in time, it was gonna honestly be a bunny that I have on here, which I realized I could probably have the bunny as the... what's its face? Follow emotes. If I want to do something along those lines. Because it allows you a bit of freedom to do something that's not typical of the rest of your emote roster if you're trying to keep coherency in what's available. Alright, I'm gonna have to grab that pink later, but I'd rather fill in this ear first before I even think about doing that. I always enjoy this stage of just filling in the flat colors. It's always so nice. It's like, you know, digital version of like coloring in a coloring book. Except, you know, you can erase things if things are not how you want them to be. Plus, the color you put down is not the final color. Alright, and that's what I thought. And I apparently missed that spot right there, so let me fix that. Oops. Oh yeah, it's still on eraser. Whoopsie. But other than socks, which, if you guys haven't seen socks, probably check out, if not Twitter, probably Instagram. The Yarn Instagram, which you can find under the same name, Yarn Crafter's Corner. Other than that, not been up to terribly much. I mean, yes, there's Animal Crossing because I managed to get that. Thank you, card, for giving me thank you points I could spend however the hell I'd like. Which in this case, I was like, you know what? I can use some of those thank you points to get some Nintendo gift cards to buy some games, which I only bought Animal Crossing currently, which I still have enough points for another game, which I might get the Professor Layton one that's available on the Switch, which this is what this soundtrack is from, funnily enough. Because I do enjoy the Professor Layton games, although I've only played the first two, And I believe there are about 9 currently. Because there's like the story ones, I believe like the first 6, no, the first 3, and then at least 2 or 3 of those are prequels. One is a complete offshoot where it's like not even related to the story. And then I think like the latest one, Catriel and the Millionaire Conspiracy. That one, I believe, Leighton's not even there. I believe like he's disappeared like 10 years ago or some stuff like that. So yeah, I really do want to play the rest of them. Ooh, what's that little... Cool. And let's grab the pink while I'm staring at this. For the mouth and the ears. Which the darker pink's gonna be for pretty much shading. I didn't keep any of the grays for shading because I think sometimes I tend to not use the exact shade of gray for shading that I used the previous incarnations of this thing. Which, the shape does not have a name. I should probably give it a name at some point. Maybe. And... let's pick that. Oops. Outside the line. But I can fix it. Gentle. I like I said gentle, like I'm trying to position where a sofa is. Like those moving people. Alright, and let's move me down here. I might, at this point, change the line art color to the dark purple I like having. That's a seriously dark purple borderlining black. Also, I'm going completely out of the lines here. Just because I can change things does not mean I need to be needlessly messy. It just gives me more work to do. And I'd rather not do that. Alright, so... now we have a face! So you can see what the sheepy usually looks like. Line art. Grab this. And this is the darkest of the purples. Come here and let's change that. Is that not? I swear that's this one. Either this one or this one. One of the two. I swear. Those are 2 different colors. What the hell is happening? Because that looks similar to the fur. Yeah, I know what I did. I thought I had one being that. But that's like the fur color, so I need to go a little bit darker. So I can actually just jump here and go a little bit darker. I thought I had the line art color there, but I apparently lied to myself. There it is. Well, it's better. Because honestly, as long as it's like a really dark purple, it's pretty much what matters here. Because I need it to be a really dark purple, so it will stand out a bit. Although, I might go over the ear lines a little bit. But let me save what I have, because I haven't saved in a while. And I'm trying to be good at that. Alright. Flat line. Alright, maybe if I'd go with this dark pink and then go over there with the shading color, I might be able to do that. So let me put this in as a flat. Because I don't use this pink really much. And then shade it with the colors that I tend to make the sheep bright. Uh-oh. Let's not do that. I don't need that happening. There we go. Oh, and apparently there's a small bit of white I apparently missed in the mouth. So I'm gonna need to make another layer to shade, and my neck's getting cranky, so I have a feeling my break should be coming up pretty soon. But we are making good progress, even though I am want to get to... Hold on. My nose has not been bothering me all day, and yet every time I sit here, it's just like my nose then decides, let's be an absolute pain in my ass. Whoops. Pick that color from there. And come on. There it is. Let's see. All right. So that puts flat colors pretty much down. Let's see. Small bit of shading here. Come on. Let me type in. Oops, wrong place. Alright, I don't need the opacity. Alright, cool. Let's see. Let's take this color, and then... Let's see, where's my airbrush here? I need to make that a wee bit smaller. And then... Oh yeah, the opacity is at 100%. Duh! Less than 100% is better. I kind of want a nice little attempt at a fade. But again, I should probably be careful because again, this is going to be stupid small. So I'm not going to get, you know, the perfect fade out of this. Also, I'm going to need to erase because this is airbrush and the airbrush tends to make things a little bit messier than I would like. Which I like using the airbrush just because it makes things a wee bit softer than the paintbrush. Alright, and let's make sure I get this off of there. Oh, so let's see. Let me dump a bit of gray in the background. Different gray than what I'm currently using to make sure I don't cause us to shade in there. Oh. Come on. Let me do the thing. There we go. Because I want to make sure everything's not sticking out the lines, although I think that still needs to be a little bit darker. Also, I said I was going to check the time, and I did not bother doing so. Yep. I was correct. I'm going past when I need to take my second break. Because of course I am. Oh, and The reason why I'm doing this for anybody who's not aware, because it usually helps to change the color of your background when you are filling in or, you know, checking for mistakes in your respective piece, whatever the case may have you, whether it be an emote or, you know, actual full-on digital piece, because, you know, sometimes when you're using a white background, you tend to miss things. So it's usually best to alter their color so spots can become a lot more visible. Oh, whoops. Apparently I never picked that up. Whoopsie. Line art. And, oh, let's turn that back to brush. Nope. Oh, I clicked them both to being, whoops. That's great. Advanced color. Yeah, it's pretty close to black right there. Let's try that again. That's better. I thought I had fixed that, but that was apparently a lie. There we are. And as you can see, the airbrush has gone outside the lines like I expected it to, because that is a thing. Like, no matter how careful I get, there is definitely a likelihood of it doing the thing. No matter how hard I try. Alright, let's see. Let me zoom out and make sure this is doing the thing like it's supposed to. I'll definitely double check before I upload this to make sure that I get all the spots I'm supposed to get. Alright. But sheep continues to be cute, which that is my main thing, so definitely yay for that. Let me clean off a bit of this and get those little specks. I've apparently missed going outside the lines too. And then I'm gonna go take my break before I just get lost in the weeds and then remember, oh yeah, I should be break taking. Anybody who's hanging out with me, who has been sitting around potentially while I have been doing this, you know, doing their own thing, like knitting, crafting of any kind, working on variety of things, definitely take a stretch. I would recommend at this point in time if you haven't already. Because it'll definitely help with circulation and also making sure certain muscles don't hate you after a while. Because I am very bad at taking breaks at times, so I speak from experience. Definitely, if you need to go get a drink of some kind, whether it be water, tea, coffee, whatever may have you, definitely do that. I'll be back in the usual 10 minutes for the last bit of stream. Might go a little bit overtime depending on if how close I am to finishing this, because I think I really do want to finish this today. So I'll be back in 10 minutes. Feel free to play the drop game. Also, before I get back to our lovely cozy sheep over here, I realized I did not mention the blurb that the bot spat out about the, let's see, I'd say art and crafting trade Discord, if that's the best way to put it, created by Atomic Stacy. That was about 2 months ago now, if not longer than that. Jeez, where is time going? Anyhow, so basically anybody who wants to, you know, trade, sell some art, and that's of a huge assortment of types, like say wood burning, weaving, chainmail, art, And, you know, whatever of the spectrum, totally feel free to check out this Discord. The link should still work. And, you know, you can go from there since there is a large swath of places. Also 3D printing. 3D printing is also a thing. And anyone who is watching during the break, hi, hello, welcome. Hope you're having a good time. Not required to talk. If you want to, you know, just chill and lurk, totally feel free to. And hopefully you will have a good time. I am here working on this emote here for my channel. This lovely cozy sheep. And so far, so good. Obviously, line art's going to need a wee bit of work, but the general premise seems to be working out very well, so yay. Let's see. What was I last doing before we got set up here? Yeah, I think I was cleaning off some edges, and there's some specks of the flat color I needed to fix. Yeah, because I went over the line in some spaces, as I want to do, but given this is at the point I could still fix the things, that is completely fine. Which I really am enjoying the sheep and the sweater. It's so much fun. Let's see. Oh, this is flat color. I'm trying to erase that in the shading layer. Derp. Alright, let's move in up here. So I can get this a little bit here. Which I have the stabilizer currently off, because like filling in colors and that sort of stuff. I usually don't need the stabilizer to be on. That's more for like me if I'm trying to create precise lines and that sort of thing. Alright, and whoops. Outside that line, let's keep that there. Yes, this will get a final look over before I put it up here, but I want to at least make sure, you know, anything major gets resolved now rather than me having to worry about it further down the line. Alright, and... and... also, let me... Oh. Alright. Yeah, that's a tiny bit of airbrush that got out of line. And we have a bit more of that over here as well. Alright, let's change the airbrush and get this bright magenta-ish color. And let's make this a little bit smaller. Oh, wrong layer. Crap. That's usually more of a thing if I'm on a have a bunch of layers going, but typically if I have like a few layers like this, usually not so bad at going on the wrong layer. Not always foolproof, as you can see here. But that's also why I like did the line art in one layer and the shading in one layer, because sometimes I like to separate if I want certain aspects to say separated. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna need to poke at that little area of line art. Alright, and then maybe, yeah, to get those areas. Although the opacity definitely needs to go down a bit. So I always forget that is like at 100. Which is usually not what I want it to be at to do things. Ah, okay. That's why that looks weird. When did that happen? Let's make sure that's cool. And let me check if there's any more empty little patches in the sweater. Okay, nope. Nothing that I can see from here. So let's do that again. Let's blend out areas here. Because I want it to blend right into this pink. And then I'm probably gonna get those bits of flat color because I apparently missed a wee bit in the mouth. Yeah, right there. Oh, and I'm trying to do... Wow. I just realized I was doing that. Good job, me. I was on the wrong layer doing that. Cool. I was doing the blending with the flat color. It's like, why is this thing not doing the thing how I want it to? Well, I don't know. Because you're in the wrong place to do that? Just a guess? Come on. There it is. It's a little bit of that. Because that's also an issue with blending. Sometimes I get a little bit carried away and the airbrush goes a little bit outside the lines. Oops. And I still see a little speck of gray right? A little speck of pink in the gray right there. Oops. And this bit of music sounds a bit foreboding, like someone's about to get their ass handed to them. Because I never listened to this particular bit of the playlist terribly often. So I always forget sometimes there are certain like foreboding music bits in here, which that is the thing that happens, because it's just like happy bits, and then it's just like you all of a sudden get somber, and it's like, well, this happened. Alright, let's turn back on my stabilizer. And get back in here. I'm trying to be quick about putting in lines in certain areas. Oh, whoops, that's a problem. Alright, so... Ah, that's what I did wrong. Alright. Yep. I pressed the wrong thing. Whoopsie. I think it's my fault. So I forgot. When I want to change drawing brushes, I have to physically change them. But with the pen, if I'm just going to switch from eraser to the brush, I can just press the button. Which I really do enjoy doing that. Very much makes things a heck of a lot easier. Which that is probably a thing I could have done earlier, but given I wasn't fully comfortable... Oh, Yep. Ugh, wrong layer! Here I am doing liner, and it's like... I'm on the wrong goddamn layer. What is with me? There it is. Yeah. Okay, good. I took off everything. Let's get back to where I'm supposed to be and try that again. And, you know, actually do the thing correctly this time. Oh, and also unlock the layer. I forgot that was locked. Whoopsie. I was mentioning Animal Crossing earlier. Anybody planning on getting the remake of Diamond and Pearl? I say remake, but it's probably like arguably a remaster. Is probably a better term for it. Although I think they have some like new stuff going into it, so it's not like, you know, they just did the previous versions just a little bit more fancier. Although I've played Diamond on my DS, like, yeah. Played Diamond on my DS. My brain was like, am I done with that one? Yeah, that was the one I already finished. Heart Gold is the one I'm currently still need to do a wee bit of grinding in, but that's like to do the final boss in the game. But I've defeated all the gyms at this point in the game with Heart Gold. So this point is just the grind to get to the level that I don't get bodied when I go see the final boss, which is basically Red in the... Who was the original? What's his face? The original dude from Pokemon. So the Japanese version of Pokemon. Which I have not seen, you know, any of. I presume there's an anime because it's usually how it goes. Also, wow, I apparently have a little bit of spots here in the flat color I missed. Or it might have been because I altered the line, that might be why those spots exist. Okay, cool. Alright. And back to this. Done. Ah, no. Don't do that. And a little spot in that gray right there. And also I'm doing that in the wrong area. Whoops. Okay, there we are. taking away the lines always makes things look a bit weird, also a lot more messy. Come on, there it is. And I'm the wrong layer. Oh, for fuck's sake. I would do the exact same thing I just fixed. I really need to stop doing that. But yeah, if you haven't played the Diamond or Pearl before, I would say definitely see about getting this version. Because the version I played was on the DS, which I still have my DS. It exists somehow over a decade, well, nearly a decade old. It's gonna be a decade old once next year hits. That's mainly because at the point I got it, I didn't have any games to really play. So it mostly sat unused at that point in time for quite a length of time. Thus, it retaining its longevity. Plus, I think Nintendo systems tend to have a bit of hardiness to them. Thus allowing them to retain long lives. Typically, I know that's not always the case, but that tends to be the case most times. Also, whoops. Damn it! Alright, slightly improved. Let's see. And apparently I missed that completely being out the line. Whoops. Let's see. Let's get this. Uh-oh. I forgot. Wrong thing. No! Oh. How the hell I managed that? Alright. Arguably up here. Could be a little bit darker. Unlock that. Nope. Let me just tilt this before I give myself a hard time. Wait. Up. Over. Up there. And erase that area. Alright. And yeah, outer line needs a little bit of tweaking as well. Come on. There it is. There. Whoops, I went all the way down there. It's like, why am I down here if I'm messing with the air? Nope. Okay, cool. It's like, why did that disappear? And then clean that up there. Alright. Let's tilt that back up. Do. And... oh wait, I was about to press something, I just do that. Let's add the line. Yeah, here's my main gripe. Let me quickly get to this. And then make sure I'm on the correct layer first before I start doing that. And... oh, apparently I missed those spots. Whoopsie. Sorry, I'm in a bit of focus mode and not terribly chatty, but I wouldn't mind chatting with you guys who happen to be hanging out here watching me work on this emote. Which I very much appreciate, because I know it's probably not the most exciting thing in the world. Especially when I start poking at certain places. Because, you know, in some cases, it literally doesn't matter because, you know, once I shrink this to the actual size, it won't matter in the end because there's, like, if the line's a tiny bit off or something, will not be visible because, you know, very, very tiny because... this is 112 by 112 at the largest. And I have this 10 times that size, which arguably for larger pieces is actually pretty small. So this is kind of a hilarious contradiction. I've not added... Nope. I didn't change the color back. Let's try that again. Whoops. Which I think I really do like the look of this. I honestly might make this into a sticker down the line. Just because of how stinking cute it is. Because it's definitely sticker worthy also. You see that blob of gray? I think I noticed it earlier and then forgot to get that little speck there. Whoops. Let's... Whee! Come on. Where are we? Oh, apparently I have that going too. Let's see. Flat color. And then a bit of the gray. Whoops, went outside that line. And let's get that. Which that reminds me, did I get those spots that I missed on the mouth, I think? Okay, I did get those. Yay! Actually remembering to do things. It's great. Alright. Although I see a little... Alright, let's zoom myself back out. Alright. Okay, so time to start shading. Let's turn off the stabilizer once again and get these shading bits here. And make sure I'm in the correct layer. I just need to shade the bits of gray and pink here. Oh, wrong thing. Whoops. There it is. Then, whoops, wrong one. Just want to even that out so it's not, you know, stupid patchy. This is a foreboding version of the theme. I enjoy this. Although, again, this does sound menacing. Like they've gotten to the grim conclusion of the mystery at hand and I'm laying it down. And then whoops, wrong way. And too much. I don't usually use the gesture thing to zoom in and out, which is where my problem lays right now. Sorry for anybody who gets motion sick. I apologize. Try not to do that terribly much. Alright. So, for now, that... Again, I still need to make sure those lines are straight, so... Actually, you know what? Let me just do that now. So it stops bugging me. So, let's see. Line art. Move myself here. Oops, wrong brush. Whoopsie. Okay. Not as bad as I thought it was. But if I want it out here, I'll just need to... Yeah, I'll still need to cut it a little bit. Damn it. And right there. Alright. Straight line tool. Then let me erase this little bit here. Which means I'll need to erase a little bit of the flat color in spots. But no real harm done. There it is. Alright, flat color, so yeah, I can just color that over this. Oh, I turned all the... What the hell? I thought I must have been using that and thinking it's the airbrush. Oopsie. And then let me zoom in a little bit. Okay, why? Might have been when I was erasing, maybe. Maybe. Alright, one. Whoops. And my neck's starting to complain again, although I did say I'd do a little bit of overtime. So, let me just continue on. Typically, my schedule is from about 1 to 4 p.m. Eastern. So, given how close I am, I think I'll do like a little bit of overtime. Probably not terribly much, but just a wee bit. Especially when I'm this close to pretty much getting it done. Yes, there'll still be some tweaking here and there offline, but it will not be a large effort on my part. Alright. There we go. And let's zoom me back out. Okay, that's better. I knew that was looking weird. So now that the face edge sides are straight, let's see. Let's get back to the ears and shade those. And then the face. And then I'll do the little effects with the floof to make it all glowy and such. Alright, airbrush. Time for you to do your job once again. And opacity, let's turn that right back down. Come back to the second ear, do the same thing. Oops. I must have, yeah. Really need to stop doing that. Nope. Damn it. Alright, let's... Oh, so it's starting to get a wee bit dark, because this whole dark at 5 business. Because I realize I can't see the keyboard that well at the moment. So it's probably going to look like my face cam's pretty... Yeah. Because where I am, the sun's setting behind me, so that way. So... Arguably where I am is about... south, yeah. A southerly direction. So... east would be where that front window is, and the side window is south. Or closer to southeast. Depending. Alright, and then... I don't think I checked that on the other ear, but that's one of those I can check later businesses. Alright. Yay! Ears definitely look more ear-like, so time for me to grab this color. Go a wee bit darker. Oh, that's a bit... Whoops. Go up this side. Okay, the hell? Oh, it'd help if I could do that up here. And come back at that with the airbrush here. Oops. I accidentally moved the layer. Thankfully, that is fixed. Alright. more than likely, you're not going to terribly see this when it gets shrunken down, but to a degree, I have this so, you know, it's not completely flat. Which is, you know, the point. And then, let's see. Yeah. Right there. I'm going to add a little bit more dark on the edge there, so let's see, even darker than what I'm doing here. So let's go a little bit darker. I'm gonna have to go all over this layer with like some really bright colors to make sure I don't miss these. That's gonna be fun. But that more than likely might be tomorrow because I need a break. Which I thought I was gonna be done with time to spare, given I had gotten to the inking part, but I'd forgotten, given how sloppily I did it, I was gonna need a little bit of cleanup, so... Oops. And then, let's see. Come back. Oh, so this one sounds reminiscent of Phoenix Wright, but given it's the same company that makes both games, that's not exactly surprising. Musically speaking. Alright. Yeah. Normally I do the same thing with the ears, but I think I might leave that alone in this one. I don't know, I might change my mind later. We'll see. Alright. So, time for me to do the wee little effects thing. Which, let me open... Let's see. Where is it? Oh, that must have not have registered the last time when it was freaking out. Let's see. Yeah, the high emote. Come on. I want to see how I layered it. Let's see. So... Yeah, I think it's the darker color and bits of it. Progressively lighter. Yeah. Alright, so... Let's see. Let's make you a lot larger. Okay, I'm on the correct layer. Which I think I'm just gonna do this one up here. Maybe. That's the only one really you typically have. Up top. Yeah, the rest of them are down the bottom. One or two up here. So that would be about it. Alright, cool. Bit less work for me on that end, which is cool. Advanced color. Hello? Why you no do the thing? Oh, because this is blending. I forgot I didn't have the airbrush on at the moment. Oops. You would think I'd learn by now to check the things. And I need to poke at that spot later on. Alright, and then blend. Alright. Come here with the palette. Airbrush. Make you a wee bit smaller. Blend. And then, let's see. And let's see. Alright, and then let's give me, yeah, that star is going to be a little bit bigger, so. Oops, yeah. What's the color I typically have with these things? Let's see. Is that? Nope, that's line art. Let me hide these. What color is that? Oh, that's even lighter. Duh. That would make sense. Alright, but let's make you a lot larger. Oh, because I wasn't pressing. Whoops. Wow. Alright, so... Okay, that pretty much mostly finishes it with effects. Oops. Apparently... Whoops. That would have been very, very weird to have that sparkle right there in the front of the face. But yeah, she pretty much done for the most part. But I'll probably need to poke around in some things. Although, yeah, this one I have light. I wonder. Let's see. Let me zoom in and see about this. Where did I? Oh yeah, I had it the entire way because I think the dark colors were too dark. But let's see. Let me change this and see what happens. Although, let's actually change to better brush. Should I keep this light like this or keep it dark? I like both options. Alright, also let me close this so I stop pinging back to that. Do you want to... No, I don't want to save any changes. Keep it how it is. Alright, let me Central Z and see how it looks. Yeah, I feel like it pops a little bit more with the lighter color. But I kind of like how it is currently. What do you guys think? Also, my neck is screaming at me. Oh god, yeah, right in there. I feel it starting to be like, nope, we don't want to do this anymore. Which, how long have I been... Oh, okay, not that far over time. Good. Because I knew that didn't take that long. But, alright, so let's see. Sparkles. Alright, so let me make sure I save and then export as a ping so I could shrink it down to what the size typically is. Because again, this is 10 times the size that the emote ends up being at the largest. Alright, so let's open. And then change image size to 112 by 112. Which, oops. Okay, that's 61%, but you can still see it, which is good. That's 50%. At 100%, how does this look? Okay. I like it. I think I might do a little shading underneath where the face ends to make that stand out more. But I don't think it needs terribly much. Again, I'll still poke at the lines because I'm like, lines could stand a little crisping up in places. Alright, shading. Let me shade a wee bit. And then, actually, yeah, I could stand to go the darkest color I have, which that would be one of these. And then airbrush that to make the bottom of the face. And then come through with this. Although, and then just a little bit more of this lighter. I'm going outside the lines, but I'll have to fix that. Yeah, that's what I thought. But at least I'm, motherfucker. I was gonna say, at least I'm on the right layer. I am not on the right layer. For fuck's sake. Alright. Let's come... Let's see. Cut. And then... paste. And then merge that. Alright. Oh, I missed that little bit. Whoops. Alright, that's fine. I can erase that bit. And... I swear, no matter what I do, there's always gonna be a... And there's the wrong layer, once again. Alright, so... let's airbrush a bit more of this in here. Then blend. Although, let's make that a little bit bigger so I can get a little... Oh wait, wrong layer. There we go. I was like, why is this thing not working? Oh, I don't know. Might be the wrong layer. Whee! Alright. So, let's see. Also, let me close that. No, I don't want to save changes. Save this here. Save as the ping. There it is. Yes, I want to replace the original one. Blah-de-blah-de-blah. And let's see. Let's check how I feel about that. No, I don't want to replace it. I said I want to open it. Hello? And there we are. Come on. Let's see. Shortcut time. There we go. And... okay, it's 61%. Yeah, I feel it pops a little bit better. Alright, so... which, this is it at 100%. But you want it to be best at, like, say, 50 and 20... whoops. 50%. Yeah, it still shows. And... 25%. 25% where I can barely see the thing. But I can definitely see the general premise of it. Which emote size is, I think, the 50%, if not the 25. 25 is when it, like, really shrinks down. But for now, yeah, I'll just leave it as is. And then... let's see, where are we? Oh, that's 200%. Whoops. Alright, let's save. Alright, I will definitely come back to this later. It is almost 4:30. Yeah, 4:21, so I've been here a wee bit longer than I typically am. Yeah, 3 hours and 21 minutes and counting, but I'd say we're pretty much done with this. At least here on stream. I will definitely be poking at little odds and ends while I'm offline, but in general, I definitely do enjoy how this came out. This is so stupid cute. And will likely end up being a sticker at some point in time. Just because I like how cute it is. But yes, anybody who's been hanging out with me the entire time, thank you for hanging out with me. Fams, which I know you have wandered off by now, but I very much appreciate that host. And yeah, 'tis dark in here. Whoops. Wow, it's really dark in here. Whoops. I'll be back again on Friday doing the craft stuff and things. This is kind of why I am not, you know, on the slate anymore. Or rather, I'm on past the usual point in time just because the whole dark at 5. Very much not helpful. But yes, hope you enjoyed the emote time. I will see you guys again soon. Bye! Might post somebody